Can I pick first so they know we're not rigging it this time?
Sure. LSU goes to Arkansas. LSU's a 2.5-point favorite. LSU coming off a massive win against Ole Miss. Keeps LSU in the playoff race. Does it change how you feel about LSU going forward? Because I thought the way they won that game, especially where Ole Miss looked like they were going to win it for most of the game, LSU hangs in, and then comes back. And Garrett Nussmeier, like, you look at his stat line, it was not the prettiest game for him. He was not very accurate all the time, but when he needed to be accurate, he threw some dimes.
Yeah. So I think that the thought process here is that Arkansas, which beat Tennessee the last time out and played a pretty close game against A&M and lost a thriller against Oklahoma State, is much better than their maybe even record, but certainly their lack of ranking would show.
Yes.
Like, it's a tough team, and it's at Arkansas.
Yes.
So I think that the layup thought here was, okay, LSU got that nice win. You know, they beat Ole Miss, but this is like where you stumble, right? Yeah. But I think because Brian Kelly has been so excellent his entire career in getting to the 10-win plateau, like he wins the games that his teams by and large
are supposed to win. Yeah.
And I like that. My gut feeling is I want to pick Arkansas because I want to keep banging home the drum of like, yeah, this is a really good, fun team to watch.
But they can lose this game and still be a really good, fun team to watch.
Yeah. I think that LSU is going to cover this game, and I think that it's going to set up what hopefully will be an absolute banger in College Station in 2 weeks.
If that happens,
when they play at A&M, because A&M I think has
Mississippi State
this week, which they should beat without struggling too much, and then we're going to have a really good Kyle Field type scenario. Like, that's the way I see this matching up.
We finally disagree.
Yep.
So LSU fans, feel free to get mad at me about this, because I'm going to admit I screwed up the pick last week when I picked Ole Miss. What I should have thought about, like, I did not take the nighttime at Tiger Stadium aspect of it into account as much as I should have. I didn't take, and I said it when we previewed the game, I said Tiger Stadium's been a house of horrors for Ole Miss. When the teams are fairly even, but one team has a really nice home field advantage where their crowd really gets into it, and when their team is good, it's a very tough place to play. Like, I should have taken that into account, because they were close enough to even that I should have just said, you know what, LSU's at home. I'm going to take the home team here. And as far as LSU's defense goes, the edges at LSU, and T-Bob Abear tried to tell us this last week, like, they are so much better than they were last year. So shout out Kevin Peoples, shout out Braden Swinson. Peoples is the coach that they took from Missouri. He came with Blake Baker. Just does a great job with edge rushers, and you saw it with Darius Robinson last year, who was a first-round pick out of Missouri. They're not what they were on defense. So, like, I'm not going into any more games thinking somebody's going to throw all over LSU, or that they're going to score 50 points on LSU. I'm done with that. That said, the same mistake I made last week, I'm going to try not to make again, where I think these two teams are pretty even. So I'm just going to take the home team, and that's Arkansas. That's what I should have done last week, and I should have taken LSU. I'm going to take the home team this week because I feel like they're fairly even. And anybody who's had a team go to Arkansas when Arkansas is good knows when that place is going, when they're good, it's a tough place to win.
Yeah. I just think that this is the point where LSU turns the corner. They have been living in the shadows for the first 5 weeks, 6 weeks of the season, and that's what happens when you lose the USC in your opener. But I think that if we really do think that this is a 10-win team, that this is a game that they would traditionally win.
All right. Well, this is one I'm so excited to see, because I don't have a lot of confidence in that pick. As you see, I'm just picking based on. I
just wish Harold Perkins wasn't injured, like, just for their sake. Like, he's so good.
Well, and remember, the last time LSU was at Arkansas, Harold Perkins won them the game.
Right.
Like, Arkansas mucked that game up. That was not a great Arkansas team, but pushed LSU to the absolute brink, and Harold Perkins won them the game. So this will be a very different experience in this game. I think probably if LSU wins, it's Garrett Nussmeier throwing them to a win. It is those edges getting Taylon Green on the ground, making Arkansas one-dimensional, making it where they have to run. And Arkansas is really good at running the ball, but you're going to have to throw a little bit to beat LSU.
Yep.